Okay, good morning. I am going to make two videos today teaching you how to navigate Google Ads. There's two main places that we navigate. So this will look at the Google Ads user interface, which is what I have shared up on my screen right now. And so we will look at this first, and then in a second, I'll record a second video on the Google Ads editor, which is the second major place that we interact with Google Ads. So if you see up on my screen, this is probably what you'll see when you log into Google Ads. If you don't have a Google Ads account, just go to ads.google. And you can sign up here, log in with your Gmail account, your Google account, and it will take you in here. And then this is what you'll come in to see. There are a couple of different main navigational sections. So the first place that we'll look at is up here at the top. There's really, when you're getting started, this tools and settings is the most important part up here at the top. These are important later. I use the report section a lot. There's other things in here that you'll use down the road, but getting started, this tools and settings is really the most important part. Most of the time as a media buyer, you'll set up this billing maybe when you first get started, and then you don't need to keep coming into that section over and over. And a lot of times if you're working on behalf of a different company, you won't really need to come in there all that often at all. Under setup, there's the business data that you set up the very first time you set up your account. Policy manager, which honestly never go into this section. Access is if you wanted to add someone onto your ad account. And so you could come in here and you can grant access to an individual person, or you could come in here under managers and you could link agency account, like I have my agency account set up in here. Linked accounts is important because a lot of times we do want to link our Google Ads account to other places. So you'll see Google Analytics in here, you'll see YouTube in here. If you're running shopping campaigns, you'll want to sync to this Merchant Center. This is something that even in Search Console, this is quite an important step, and so definitely don't overlook this when you're setting up an ad account for the first time. Your tracking, getting your pixel set up. We'll look more at pixel tracking in the future. Here you'll see conversions. Here the most important part is conversions, and this is where you can set up the actual conversion events that you want to track in your ad account. It all revolves around the Google Pixel, so you can track, well, here's the Pixel data. You can track apps, phone calls, and you can even import offline conversions. Most of the time we go through this website. You could put your domain in here. We'll scan to see if you have the pixel on your site, and then you can either use self-guided pixel setup or you can add the tag yourself. That is something that we'll look at a bit more in depth. There's bulk actions, which for the most part, if you're just starting on Google Ads, you can ignore this section. This is more of an advanced feature. These shared libraries is also something that when you're getting started, these are sections that I might ignore for the beginning, with the exception of maybe this negative keyword list. So I do recommend this a lot of times for first-time media buyers. If you know there are keywords that you don't want to bid on anywhere across your ad account, this is a great place to add them. You can create a new list, put your keywords on here. You can format these keywords. So if I put quotes around it, this is going to be a phrase match type, meaning any query that includes that term example would be excluded. If you put brackets around it, this is going to be an exact match type, and this would exclude only when people search exactly for this term example. When you do that, you can then apply this to campaigns. You can't just build an exclusion list like that. You actually have to put it onto some campaigns, which will do like that. And then now I won't bid on the term example anywhere in this ad account. And then there's the planning section, which if we're building a new campaign, this is quite an important section. So you'll have the keyword planner. This is something that I use an awful lot. It's pretty intuitive to use. A lot of times you either have some keywords you want to see. So maybe I want to see keyword traffic for Learn Google Ads. You can come in here, put in the keywords that you want to look at, and then you'll see there's only 500 people who want to search or want to learn how to use Google Ads every single month. If you take a step back, you can get new keyword ideas. So let's say the same thing. You can change your geography and everything. And then now I'll see that only 500 people want to learn how to use Google Ads, but 1,000 people are searching Google Ads training. So maybe I adjust my keyword plan based off of what there is traffic in here. You can also see there are top of page bids, there are low range bids. I use all of this when I'm building out my media plan. I'll use some other tools too, but this is a very good place to get started. So we have walked through most of what I would say pay attention to up here in the top. The only other thing that I would call out is over here. If you have multiple accounts, this is how you will switch back and forth between those accounts. And so that's an important part. If you're not seeing what you expect to see, I would interact with this icon up here, and maybe you're logged into the wrong Gmail account, maybe a different Gmail account has access. This is a great spot to navigate through. So then we have, now that we've gone through this top bar, we'll come over here to the sidebars. There's two sidebars over here. This first one is navigational. So this tells you the scope of the data that you'll return here. So right now we're looking at all of our campaigns, view all 3 campaigns. If I wanted to look at data, anything, insights, like the granularity over here, I could just click into one of these. This is the campaign level, then there will be an ad group level, and so you can click into varying granularities over here. You can also filter by campaign types. I only have video campaigns in this test account, but if you had search or performance max, you could click into each one of those right here, and then now I will only see data specific to video campaigns. So this is more just reflecting what data is going to come in here. The second column will show you the granularities that you want to look at. So you can see overview. We'll walk through all of these. The overview will show you, it's kind of not a tool that I use a lot, but this is a good place if you want to just see like, hey, what's been happening in the last 30 days or something. You can come here and see some data. You can see what recommendations Google has. Insights. Again, these are not areas that I use a ton. You can kind of skip through these. Then we get to campaigns. So this is going to be the main screen that I look at for campaign performance. You can see the campaign names, obviously. You can see your budgets, and then you can see campaign data. You can also customize the data that you want to see in here, modify your columns. You can pull any of these sections of data. And you can also customize your own column. So let's say you want to see like a ROAS column. You can see they have some ideas for you, but you can come in here, you can calculate based off of the columns that you have data and make calculations based off of that, and then bring in your own customized columns in here. That is pretty much the only thing I would mention here. A lot of times I do pull in certain columns around bid strategy, which I do this more so I don't have to go into the settings as much. You'll see down here we have these settings, and so by pulling this in here, I can start seeing the settings that are important to me. If I'm making determinations around my bid strategy or anything like that, I can see what strategy is everything on. A lot of times you'll just know, because you're in here every day, you'll know just what strategy you have things on. But the alternative is coming down here to campaign settings. And then this will give you all of the campaign settings, which if you have one campaign, for example, right here, It's quite easy to just come into the settings and look at it. Even with 3 campaigns, it's quite easy to just come into the settings for each one and see what's going on. But if you have a lot of campaigns going on, sometimes we'll have ad accounts with hundreds of campaigns, it gets quite difficult to click into each and every one. And so that's why we use this tab right here. If there's a target CPA, you'll see it. Again, you can customize your columns always. On every tab, you can customize what columns you want to see. Not all of the columns will be available, but you'll be able to see everything right here. Next, we have the ad groups. Usually, I look at this on a per campaign basis. I don't look at all ad groups across the board because it's like comparing apples to oranges. So I will click into one campaign and see what ad groups we have live in there. You can click in and you can see your ads, and you also can see your assets. So this on a video campaign is quite limited, but if we were running a search campaign, which I would love to show you, but if we're searching just something like this, Google Ads, let's see. Okay, so first thing here, you'll see these separate things. If this was an ad, these would be called site links, where you can have assets. This is all managed under the asset section, but there will be things like site link extensions that will take you to different pages on your website. You could also see things, there's a whole variety of assets that we'll talk more about in the future, but all of that stuff would be managed right here. You can see what videos, if you're running a video campaign, you can see what videos are tied to it. You can also see analytics for those videos. The important stuff will be visible on the ad level. A lot of times I do my optimization at the ad level, but you have this insight if you want to start diagnosing things. You can see your landing pages and the performance data tied to those landing pages. It only works if you have spent in the last 7 days, which this is a testing account, we haven't. But you can again customize your column, see your landing page performance here. You can see audiences that you have tied to your campaigns. You can put both targeting audiences and just observation audiences. You can also see demographic data in here, and you can also exclude data here. Content is more important when we get into YouTube campaigns and GDN campaigns. You can see placements. You can see where your ads actually showed, keywords, anything related to the content of where your ads are serving. Again, we looked at settings, but this is for an individual campaign. So now if you want to make changes, let's say I want to change the location of languages or any of these campaign settings, you'll come in here. A lot of times when I look at campaign settings, I'm looking mostly at bid strategy. Maybe I want to move this to a TCPA. Maybe I want to pay a $15 CPA. Hopefully that doesn't screw up the recording. $15 CPA, you'll look at it here. You can save those changes. Okay. And then locations, where you're targeting, what you're excluding. Continue. And so this will show you the locations that you're targeting. You can put a schedule on your campaigns. So you can see here is a little weird, but I could target just every single day. You can put bid adjustments. So if there's more valuable parts of the day, you can bid up on those. You can do it by day and hour. You can do it by day. And really customize that schedule here. You can also target or specify what devices you want to serve ads for. If you want to exclude something completely, you can just come in here and say decrease by 100%, and then now you'll exclude that. And then there are some advanced bid adjustments and the change history, which we left the best for last because this tells you a lot. A lot of times if you'll see maybe ad performance got really good in the last 7 days, and you want to know why, you can come in here and see what changes were made during that time frame. If you're working with different media buyers, you can see what did they do, and you can come in here and get a lot of the context. A lot of times if performance changes for the better or for the worse, this is where you'll get all of that insight to give you just the knowledge to know what's actually happening within my ad account. And so that is these two columns. This is how you navigate. This is how you get to where you need to be. You'll see up here at the top, you'll see some quick filters. So this is essentially your campaign settings. You can get here if you're going into the campaign settings as well, but you can quickly turn a campaign on. You can change the budget. You can see this, and then if you click here, it will take you back to the settings page. The only thing I haven't shown you just yet is filtering. So you can come up here and you can filter by almost anything. You can say, I want to see things that have cost over $100. You can filter like that, and you can stack multiple filters on top of each other. And really build up, and then just build up a deck of filters that you have in here. And then you can also do this at a higher level. So let's look at all campaigns again. You'll see all of these campaigns, and then you'll see I'm filtering to all enabled campaigns. I'm looking at ad group statuses, and you can build these out up here at the top as well to make sure that you're filtering to the correct visualization that you want to see. So that is really the beginning of how to navigate this Google Ads interface. As I mentioned, this is the first place that we manage Google Ads. The second place is the Google Ads Editor. So that will be my very next video. I'll record it right now, navigating the Google Ads Editor. A lot of times if we want to make more changes or faster changes or at scale, we'll do all of that in the Google Ads Editor. So we'll jump over there in just a second. Let me know if you have any questions. My contact information is on this YouTube channel. Feel free to reach out to me. I believe the last screen of my first video on here, the intro to media buying, has all my contact information where you can just comment on there. So let me know if there's questions or anything, and I will talk to you guys soon.